So I'm just going to be on for a minute
sure.
introducing them, so I can just hold
Yep, you can
it.
hold it like a game show host. That's what I always tell
Okay.
people. And,
Happy New Year, everybody. Am I on? Am I live?
You are live.
Okay. So Happy New Year to our local New Brunswick people, as well as folks in Mays Landing and Roseland. Hope you had a nice holiday break, and I hope you had a good discussion on your production plans. Tonight, we're all about finance. So that's, to me, the most important part of a business is to be able to stay in business. And we have, first of all, 3 speakers from FSA and NRCS. So FSA stands for Farm Service Agency, and NRCS is Natural Resources Conservation Services. And they're going to talk about what those agencies can do for urban farmers. So I'm going to let the 3 of them trade off however they want. They're going to have questions at the end, so make sure you pass your questions up on note cards to the facilitator at each location, and then I'll ask the speakers to read the questions and then answer them. So we have Gabby Grunstein from FSA, Austin Baird from FSA, and Rosalind Orr from NRCS. So who do I give first? So you're Austin?
Correct.
Okay.
Should I pin this?
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna be over here for a while, yeah.
And we have, this can clip onto your belt.
Can everybody hear me? Is that okay?
Yep, you're still good.
Do you want to put that in your pocket or on your belt?
Hi, I'm Austin Baird. I'm a farm loan officer with the USDA Farm Service Agency. Today we're going to go through a couple programs that our agency offers, along with some lending opportunities that our agency also offers. So how can FSA help our farmers? For one, we have loans directly through our agency. These loans can be to purchase property, make capital improvements onto the property, construct buildings. We also have operating loans for livestock, machinery and equipment, annual operating costs such as seed, fertilizer, anything of that nature. We also have disaster programs. They assist in crop, tree, brush, vine losses. We also have assistance for apiary operations such as honeybee losses due to natural disaster or colony collapse. We also have a reimbursement for an organic certification. So if you do go certified organic, we can reimburse that certificate. So a couple of the farm loan programs that we have, beginning farmer and rancher programs for any beginning farmer that's been farming for less than 10 years. We also have farm ownership. Direct and guaranteed, and that's to purchase property, capital improvements, construct buildings. We have farm operating loans as well. Like I said, livestock, machinery, and equipment, any annual operating costs. And then emergency loans when disaster strikes. We have micro loans, and then we also have youth loans. And I'll go through everything as we go along. The beginning farmer, I just mentioned, if you're farming for less than 10 years, this will apply to all of our loan programs that I'll discuss momentarily. So our farm ownership loans, to purchase farmland, construct buildings, we can go up to $600,000 of that purchase price. There's no down payment needed for it, and usually we would structure it over 40 years. Typically, when you're doing a building, we would structure that loan for a term of increments of 5 years. So if it appears that your operation is able to cash flow and able to do a repayment ability in 10 years, we'll do a 10-year loan, 15-year loan, and 20-year loans. We also have guaranteed loans where we would work with one of our preferred lenders, such as Farm Credit East. So if it appears to us that the property that you're looking to purchase exceeds our $600,000 direct funding, we can guarantee a loan up to 95%, up to $1,750,000. Our farm operating loans. These are loans that we would term up to a maximum usually of 7 years. Equipment, livestock, anything of that nature. We do have annual operating loans as well, but that would strictly be a one-year loan. We expect that with an annual loan, you would pay for only annual expenses, and then your cash flow would come in, and you'd be able to repay that loan back within one production season. We can go up to $400,000, no down payment needed as well, and like I said, we can go up to 7 years. The current interest rate for our operating loans is 2.625%. We do fluctuate interest rates based on like the month, but when we close a loan, we would set that interest rate fixed for the duration of that loan. Emergency loans. This is to help producers recover from production physical losses. When there's huge storms that come in and destroy greenhouses, usually our secretary would designate that area, and we would be able to give loans to help reimburse any loss to buildings, livestock, crop production as well. The loan limit, we can do a maximum of $500,000. If it is like crop production loss, typically you would report to our agency the amount of loss that you have, and we could lend up to that amount as well. With emergency loans, we would do a duration of 15 years. Microloans, these are extremely popular with the USDA. It's a very simple application, and we can go up to $50,000. So if you're looking to just purchase like a tractor, 10 head of cattle, anything like that, we can go up to $50,000. We usually do term it up to 7 years for our microloan, but if you do find a piece of property or you want to put up a building, we can go higher on the terms as well. Youth loans, for anybody watching, this probably might not be a loan for you, but this is really for like the youth, ages 10 to 20, really getting started within the agricultural world. We do need a mentor with this type of loan, but we can go up to $5,000. So if you're looking to start like a small herd and get that operation going at a young age, we can finance something like that. I'm going to turn the reins over to Gabby Grunstein. He's a county executive director out of Freehold, and he'll go into a little bit more detail with our farm storage facility loan and a couple other programs that we offer.
Good evening. As Austin said, I'm Gabby Grunstein. I'm a County Executive Director with the Farm Service Agency. I head our freeholder office, which covers Middlesex, Mercer, and Monmouth County. We do have 6 offices statewide that cover every county in the state. So the first program I'm talking about is the Farm Storage Facility Loan Program, and that is a program, while it's called a loan program, it goes through our farm program department because they look at it as a marketing assistance loan, helps you market your crop, your product. And we offer low interest financing on different types of machinery that will help you store your product and handle your product. I guess the important part or difference between getting a facility loan for this type of a facility loan for your equipment needs as opposed to an operating loan is that when you apply for a loan through our loan department, you have to have a test for credit, which means that if you have capital or if you have financing available to you through a commercial lender, then we're not going to necessarily lend to you. However, with the Farm Storage Facility Loan Program, you don't need to have that test for credit, so anybody that applies that can pay back the loan in essence, and for eligible equipment can get that loan. And it is a pretty low interest loan, up to $500,000, and between 3 and 12 years. So eligible equipment and facilities includes food safety equipment. It includes cold storage, and now also includes mobile equipment. You can get a refrigerated truck to bring your crop to market. So there's a lot of different options in the program. Again, the interest rates are fixed for the life of the loan, and depending on when we approve the loan is what rate you're fixed at. So if you see here, actually the December and January rates are the same. So for a 3-year loan, it'd be 1.625, up to a 12-year loan is 1.875, which is a pretty good interest rate. One of the things that we spend a lot of our time with in New Jersey is disaster programs. And all of our disaster programs are there to help you with your crops that have that have suffered losses due to natural disaster. Listed on that slide are some of those eligible causes of loss. One of our biggest disaster programs is called the Non-Insured Crop Disaster Assistance Program, or as we refer to it, NAP. And what that does is replaces crop insurance in counties where a specific crop doesn't have crop insurance available. And in New Jersey, that covers most of the vegetable crops that are grown in New Jersey can be covered under NAP in your county. As it is county-based, there are different eligible crops in each county, so you'd have to check with your local office as to what crops have crop insurance available and which have NAP coverage. We do have our next coverage deadline is March 15th. That's our biggest, I guess most of our crops have a deadline of March 15th. Listed here on the slide are just some of those crops that have that deadline. What to do to be eligible for NAP? One of the most important things that anybody does when participating with a Farm Service Agency is to file an acreage report. That means you come in to our office, you tell us the crops that you're planting, where you planted them, how many acres you planted, and when you planted that crop. It's not just for NAP purposes, but also for many of our other disaster programs, as well as other, even our facility loan program. It's a requirement that you have an acreage report. Because when the first time you sign up for NAP, you have a loss event, you have to come in, you have to report to the office the crop, the date that the loss happened, the loss event that caused it, whether it was flooding or high winds. In some cases, pests or plant diseases are also eligible causes for loss. And you have to report that loss to the office within, most cases, within 72 hours. And for most crops, you have to have an appraisal at the end of the growing season as well. And we will send out a loss adjuster to look at your losses. There are a couple levels of coverage available for the NAP program. There's catastrophic coverage, and that is where we cover losses greater than 50%, and at 55 cents on the dollar, in essence. For low-income, beginning, and minority farmers, the NAP service fee, which is listed here, is waived. So otherwise, it's $325 for the first 2 crops. When you get to 3 crops, you max out at $825 for the county, and that would give you catastrophic coverage for all your crops. The maximum payout for that level of coverage is $125,000. Starting in the 2018 Farm Bill, buy-up coverage became a permanent part of the NAP program, and that allows you to buy up coverage up to 65%. In essence, your payments could start with a loss of 35% or greater, as opposed to 50% with catastrophic coverage. And instead of getting paid 55 cents on the dollar per our prices, you would get paid 100% of that dollar. So if we pay 55 cents a pound for tomatoes, you would get 55 cents. And again, if you fall into one of the groups of limited resource, beginning farmer, or socially disadvantaged minority farmers, including women, then you would have a 50% reduction in the premium for buy-up. We also have pricing for direct market growers. So if you sell 100% retail, that's very simple. We can give you a direct market price, which is a 30% bump in what our prices are. And our prices are set statewide, generally based on ag statistics prices or local prices that we collect. I've mentioned that already. Premium calculation. So the premium is based on a calculation of the crop acreage and the yield. Basically, in the program, everybody gets a yield for the crop that they're covering. And initially, when you first start out of the program, that's based on a county yield or a percentage of the county yield. And as you participate year after year, we'll maintain your production records, and then you will be marked against your own production. So if you average 100 pounds per acre for tomatoes, and then when you have a loss, we'll look at your actual production history and calculate the loss based on that. There's a maximum premium amount of $15,750. It's pretty hard to get to that number, especially with smaller acreage. But once you hit that number, or 50%, if you're in one of the groups that gets the premium discount, then all your crops could be covered at the top level of coverage. And again, and the maximum payout in that for buy-up coverage is $300,000. And if you have crops that you purchase buy-up coverage for, and some that you don't, you can actually have a maximum payout of $425,000. Now, with the NAP program, you have to sign up in advance, and we have different closing dates for different crops. As I mentioned, March 15th is our next one. We have another program that where instead of assisting the producer with the crop that they've lost, we're assisting with trees, vines, and bushes that they've lost. So instead of the crop, we're assisting with the plant. This program you don't have to sign up for in advance, although you should, again, have an acreage report on file with us. And we will pay a percentage of your losses. And there are a couple of, let me go back. We pay for rehabilitation. We pay for, or assistant rehabilitation. We assist with replacement plants and also site prep when needed for those replacements. So if you had a crop, for example, like Christmas trees, you could actually sign up to get NAP coverage for Christmas trees, get a NAP payment on the trees that you lost, and then get assistance through TAP to replace the trees that you lost. If you were to have grapes or blueberries, again, you can have coverage for the crop that you've lost and receive a payment for that. And if you also lose the bushes or the vines, you can get a assistance in replacing those as well, and it wouldn't be considered double dipping. We do provide some livestock assistance programs. ELAP is one of them, Emergency Livestock Disaster Program, and this covers traditional livestock as well as bees. We also have another program which we didn't include a slide for, called the Livestock Indemnity Program, also for losses to livestock due to natural disaster, extreme cold, extreme heat, and so on. The big difference between the two livestock programs, in the ELAP program one, we cover bees as well, and also under ELAP, some pest disease that isn't covered under the Livestock Indemnity Program is covered. Again, just like with many of our programs, we don't cover 100% of your loss, so there is a normal mortality that's placed on bees, for instance, at 22%. So you have to have a loss of over 22% of your colonies in order to generate a payment. And colony collapse disorder is one of the eligible losses. It's not, for honeybees, it's not just weather related, but colony collapse disorder, which is, I guess, still somewhat of a mystery, is eligible under that program. We also we have a program, the Organic Certification Cost Share Program. It's one of our simplest, easiest programs. If you have organic certification, we will reimburse your certification costs, up to 75% of your certification costs, up to $750. You come in, you show us your receipts for the certification itself, and we issue you a payment. It's pretty simple. As I mentioned, we do have offices around the state. These are the 6 offices that we have that cover Burlington. We have our Columbus office that covers Burlington, Camden, and Ocean counties. My office in Freehold that covers Monmouth, Mercer, and Middlesex. Our office in Frenchtown that covers Hunterdon and Somerset, and actually Union counties. Oh, sorry.
Rick's popping up.
Did you answer Rick's question?
I didn't see Rick's question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, we're waiting for the
Yeah, we can do it at the end, just so it's not throwing things off.
Okay. That's, we have our Hackettstown office that covers Warren, Sussex, and Morris counties. Vineland, I guess I left that out of the slide there, and then Cumberland, Cape May, and Atlantic counties of Vineland, and Salem, Gloucester, in Woodstown. That's it? Nope. And finally, that's the contact information for Austin and myself. I would encourage everybody to check out our state website. All our program deadlines are up there, a lot of other great information. We have a program calendar on there as well, and that'll sort of list all our deadlines. You can print